Hey guys, Huzzy here bringing you another video. Now welcome to another episode of the Huzzy Q&A, I guess. But yeah, do these because, you know, some people have questions, and I've always said when I wasn't a YouTuber, and hell, still to this day, I've got questions for people that I watch, but they don't offer a way to get them answered, so I do. So yeah, that's why. So today's one is a Instagram special. I got all the questions for Instagram. I think we've got quite a lot, like more than I actually anticipated, so we'll try and get through them all, but it might be quite hard. I'd say we've maybe got 50 to 100, I don't know. But anyway, first one is tips for overcoming the toxicity and arrogance of Smurfs. Dun dun dun. Yeah, I know it's a problem, and again, this is where the issue that I've kind of always fallen in is like I do Smurf series, but I always try to be the better example of what a Smurf could be. Like sometimes you might not even know I'm a Smurf or something like that. Like I don't try to impose on people. I don't say give me that role. I don't play the hyper carries every game and just 1v9. I just play kind of like chill. But I know that's a rarity. So how do you overcome it? I guess in a way, it's something that I just have to advise, because, by the way, I do come across Smurfs myself on my main account, but the difference being, if you're in Silver, someone could be stomping you who's a Smurf that could be just like a high gold or a low platinum player. Like, you know, they're pretty good, but they're not, like, incredible. When I'm in Diamond 2, for example, on my main account, and there's a Smurf in my game, that's like a Challenger Smurf, and they're incredible. Like Reddit the other day, there was a thread that was trying to like say about high rating and everything, and the guy was so delusional, thinking, oh, there's not much difference between Diamond 1 and Diamond 4, or Master and Diamond 4. Ridiculously stupid by that guy. The differences are insane. So when you're a Diamond 2, even a Diamond, right now I'm in Diamond 2, if a Challenger Smurf or a Master Smurf that was very, like, much they're playing their champion, they're tryharding, they'd absolutely crush most Diamond 2 players. Like, it would look hilarious how much they'd crush. And that's supposed to be a close rating. You know, your Diamond 2 and their Master or Grandmaster, that's not that far away. The difference in skill is incredible. So how do you get over it? Just accept it, in a way. Like, the toxicity, obviously, that's not good. Just mute. Like, just mute people. It's that simple. Don't engage with toxicity, because then the likelihood when you're engaging with toxicity might come out of you, and then you're risking yourself to get banned. Just mute it, get rid of it, report it. But the arrogance of Smurfs, again, it's why people are sometimes surprised by, like, I'm a massive fan of Doublelift because people don't like his arrogance. But arrogance can exist in places. It's fine. You know, if you look in the sporting world, there have been sporting legends that have been arrogant because they can be. They're very good. So a Smurf being arrogant, yeah, it's a bit kind of, you know, dickish that, like, you're a Diamond Smurf in Silver and you're being really arrogant and that, but in the weird way, they can. I know a lot of people are not going to say, like, that's not a nice thing. It's not. I'm not saying it's a nice thing, but they can be kind of arrogant. Because, you know, these people will rush through a rating. Again, look at the example of Iron to Diamond. I've played around 100 games of that account right now. It's got a 65% win rate. We've got over 80 champions played on that account. We're climbing pretty easily. There's not, like, much strain going on, and that account started in Iron. Imagine, so, you know, I'm an example of a Smurf that I play random stuff here and there. Imagine the average Smurf that doesn't. Imagine the average Smurf that just plays 2 or 3 champions like they do on their main account, and they'll just climb ridiculously quick. So yeah, honestly, just try to ignore the toxicity, and as it comes to the arrogance, I guess kind of just accept it. Like, they are better in a way, and it doesn't mean that Smurfs are unbeatable. Like, again, my Smurf's got a 65% win rate. You can't win them all. That's how League of Legends works. But yeah, that's what I say. Again, my answers may not be the answers sometimes you want to hear, and maybe they're not even correct, but that's just what I think. Next one is, do I watch soccer? Well, I'd call it football, because I'm from Britain. And no, I don't really. I used to play to a very high level. If you're newer, you probably don't know that, but I used to play in A-League. I was in a feeder team to Peterborough United and won the A-League a couple of times. So I played to a very high level. A couple of people that were in my teams went pro or semi-pro and stuff like that. So, like, that was an option once in my life if I wanted to pursue going that way. Then injury took hold. osteoarthritis in my knees, and I basically couldn't walk after game days. So Sunday was game day, Monday waking up, my knees completely locked up, and sometimes I had to miss school. You know, Monday's a school day. Sometimes I had to miss like the morning of school the next day because I couldn't walk. Doctors told me to stop playing sport for a while, so I did, to let my knees kind of recover and catch up with growth. And by the time that I probably could go back, I was probably a bit too hooked to gaming. But it was injury that took me out of sport. But I never really watched football. I've never been someone that watches it because it always just made me in the mood to play it. I got frustrated that I was watching it instead of playing it. So yeah, I never really watch it. I'll watch like the World Cup and stuff like that though. Am I still planning on moving out soon is a question. Next one. It's complicated. So basically, if you're not from Britain, but you probably have heard of it, there's a thing called Brexit. No matter if you support it or not, it's just a complete and utter mess. So what I said, and you know, it's a smart thing in my opinion, I'm waiting until Brexit to buy a house if I am. Because every, you know, expert out there, and again, I do trust people that have the credentials you can trust, say the housing market is going to take a hit. There are people saying it'll take a 5% hit, a 10% hit. There's even some going a 30% hit. So when you're talking about buying a house in the area that I live in, and with the cost, again, I'm not going to get into how much the house would be. It's a lot of money. Even a 10% drop is a lot of money to a lot of people, including me. So why would I not do that? So that's what I'm doing. Again, Brexit is planned now. That, you know, we should be leaving, if anything, on Halloween later this year. So it has been delayed, so I'm not going to move out until then. And then the housing market won't drop instantly. It may take a couple months. So I don't know if the housing market does drop, Brexit does or doesn't happen, who knows. Then probably like late this year is when I'll probably start looking. And again, with the YouTube channel, again, it got bugged recently. The income has been affected. It's in my back of my head. I'm like, do I just go become a pilot like next year? Just keep doing YouTube for like another year or so and just go become a pilot. Because the stresses of YouTube, man, like it's rough. It's really rough. Like when the platform you're on bugs your videos and then your viewership drops 30% in the last 2 or 3 weeks, which also drops your income about that level as well. And there's no apology from them. There's no compensation from them. There's nothing. There's no help. Yeah, it's a bit rough. So it's just, again, I love what I do. You guys know I love doing YouTube, but having a stable paycheck of a pilot, for example, and I know that I'm then on a career instead of YouTube that isn't a career, it's a job, it's not a career. It's hard right now. In my head, how I'm thinking right now, it might change. Maybe YouTube in the next 5 months, 6 months will be amazing. But when your YouTube channel has just got bugged and it's like, what happens if that happens again? You know, it's rough sometimes. So yeah, it's frustrating when they admit there's a bug and they admit the videos weren't going out to people and then won't do anything to help. So yeah. Moving out potentially later this year, but we'll see. Do I think I would still play League if you hadn't become a YouTuber, especially when your friends don't play much anymore? It's a good question. Obviously, I played back in Season 1. I became a YouTuber, I think, in Season 3. So if I, right now, if I wasn't a YouTuber, do I think I'd still play League? It's a good question. I probably would, but here's what I'd probably say. I reckon if I wasn't a YouTuber, I'd potentially have gotten to a higher rating than I've ever been. Like, I think I would have broken to be a master player, but then I would have got burnt out and played a lot less after. So, for example, my highest rating I've ever been is Diamond 1 87 LP. Being a YouTuber, you're obviously in those commentaries of doing promotion series and everything, and climbing, you're doing commentaries, you're focusing on the Twitch chat, you're thinking about the video in general, all that. It's not easy when you're just playing at a very high level. So if I wasn't doing all the YouTube commentary and the worrying and whatever, I reckon I would have peaked higher for rating wise, but then I kind of would have been like, oh, I got to the rating, like I got to master, what am I going to do now? I'll go play a different game. I reckon I'd probably still play a bit, though, because I've always said, and it is 100% true, League of Legends is my favourite game mechanically. Like, actually, how you play and how the game feels, my favourite game of all time. So I reckon I probably would still play. I just probably wouldn't play every day. I may do a couple games a week, where obviously nowadays I play on average probably like 3 games a day, including the Smurf and the main account added together. Probably like today I'm having a day off, but if you average the week, probably about 3 games a day. So yeah, I reckon I probably still would play, just less, to be honest. But yeah, good question though. Do I know if Riot plans to make any League-related movies, cartoons, etc.? One, I don't know. And secondly, if I did know, I probably wouldn't be able to tell you. Again, we are, as a League partner, told different things. And I have also kind of learned within the League partner program, there's also not really tiers, but basically depends how close you are to Riot, you get told more things. So if you're fresh into the League partner program, you're probably not going to get told that much. I was pretty much the first guy in the League partner program in the UK. Because I was already working with Riot on projects before the League Partner Program came about. So I'm told quite a lot. I get patch notes, like a week before you guys get them. And that's because I kind of asked for it, and I kind of was like, I'm going to look through the patch notes because I can. And, we're told about things here and there. So if ever, is a thing, like right now, I've got a project going on with Riot that I can't tell you guys about, but you'll find out probably in the next, I don't know, couple months. Which is a pretty cool project. So yeah, if I knew, I wouldn't be able to say. But I don't know. That's all I can say. So yeah. Next one is, how do you handle hate on stream/YouTube? Good question. A lot of people that try doing YouTube, this is the stumbling block. A friend of mine, a university friend, tried to do it when, he was looking that I was getting success with, doing university. And he was like, oh, I'm going to do it. And his videos, I don't know why. I think he posted it on, he was doing StarCraft from memory, and he posted them on the StarCraft subreddit. He received a lot of hate instantly. He was like, oh, I'm not doing that. So, yeah, how do you deal with it? Part of it is just accepting it's the internet, and that's the internet culture. There's people out there that aren't having a great time in life or whatever, so they need to project that onto others. That's a big part of it. The other part of it is massively jealousy. And again, this is something that is not big-headed in mine. I have spoken to other YouTubers about it. And trust me, there's therapy groups of YouTubers. I'm not even kidding. There's support groups of YouTubers together because it can get rough. And it's more like if you ever look at the people that are attacking you, it's not always because some people are just crazy. But I'd say the majority of the time that someone is attacking you, if it's personal or, they're just attacking you in general, if you again, I don't really do it much because it's unhealthy probably, but if you clicked on their profile and I did a little bit of digging, they've probably attempted to be a content creator. They've probably attempted to upload videos or stream and they just didn't get anywhere. So then they look at others and going, how did they get there? How did they get my job, in their thought process? And they attack. That's a lot of the time the case. But yeah, the internet is a toxic place. League of Legends, I think we can all agree, is a pretty toxic game. So naturally, a lot of the audience are going to be generally toxic. I've become somewhat immune to it nowadays. There's not really anything people can say that would get a rise out of me. And then obviously that's another thing, is that some people get pleasure of seeing other people down. People are messed up, man. But yeah, I've done this for a long time. So it's not really a thing that affects me. It's more of a thing when you first get started. You've got to be very strong-willed. Again, that's where people say, when I mute people instantly in League, there are people going, oh, Huz, you're really, there's a certain word that people use. It's not sensitive, it's something else. Thin-skinned or whatever, maybe. And it's if I was, not thick-skinned, I would not be here right now. No way. Every single YouTuber has to be the thickest-skinned person out there. So do, I guess, people, just anybody in the public eye. I'm not a celebrity, nowhere near, but I'm in the public eye. That's what my job is. Anybody in the public eye that has social media presence, whatever, has to have thick skin. So, no matter what you think of, I don't know, the Kardashians or something, I despise them, for what they stand for, but they have to probably have incredibly thick skin, probably more than me or more than anyone else, because what they stand for is odd. So, it's just the world that we live in when it comes to the public eye. And that's something, I don't know, you can probably train it, but I think naturally everybody probably has a layer, how much they can deal with. And some people just might not be able to deal with it. So, but I guess with time does come kind of not caring as much. Next is, how did you get your start on content creation? When did I feel it was something to do? I've answered this before, so we'll do it very quickly. It was nothing to do with getting a job. If you are wanting to do content creation going, it's going to be my job, you're not going to do it. It has to be natural, because otherwise, I've said it before, people can sense that, you know. I've watched some people that they've sent, occasionally people send me videos, what do I think? Not even kidding, I've had people send me videos of it's like their third video, and they're already like, oh, you know, guys, can you, if anybody knows a sponsor, or, like, literally, I'm not kidding, it's their third video, and they're talking about, like, money things. It's like, dude, I didn't make any money on YouTube for the like first 2 or 3 years of doing it. I'm now 5.5 years coming up to... I think I'm actually coming up to 6 years in May. Next month. Holy moly. I think 6 years in May. And I didn't make any money, I think, for the first 2 or 3 years of doing it. It's the wrong mindset. You do it because it's fun. You do it because that's what you want to do. I did it when I was in a really down period of my life. I was between sixth form college and university, and I had nothing to do. My friends all went away to university. They didn't take gap years, or if they did take gap years, they went traveling. I didn't. So I had no friends in my vicinity in real life. So I was like, what the hell do I do in my day? I had online friends, obviously, but, you know, they're not around all the time. So I was like, I'm going to do YouTube just for a bit of fun. You know, Total Biscuit and Jesse Cox, they started YouTube channels just to fill the time, and then it turned into something. The turning into something like a job was not even on my mind. It was literally just to fill the hours in the day. It was that's it. It literally was to wake up and kind of go, what am I going to do today? Oh, I'll make a League video or a video. It wasn't even planning to do a League channel at the beginning. But yeah, that's what it was. So, and then it just randomly turned into something people started to watch, and I was like, huh, okay, I guess I'll do this. And again, it wasn't easy. I was doing I started my YouTube channel, I'd say roughly 6 months before I started university. Then during university, I did my YouTube channel. And again, it was very... If you're a very old viewer, you'll remember it wasn't like 2 videos a day every day. It was like 2 videos a week, if that. So I remember I didn't upload a video for like 3 weeks once because university took precedent, obviously. And I got the highest grade you can get in university, so it worked. But it was rough. It was hard. But... it was okay, you know, we got there, and I'm here today. And obviously my university degree has not come in handy at all, which is hilarious. I still, again, recommend university, because if you're looking to apply for jobs, why wouldn't people go for a university graduate when everybody is a university graduate nowadays? Because even if I become a pilot, don't need a degree. I might be able to get bumped up a couple ranks, like, instantly becoming a pilot with having a degree, but I don't think so. Like, it's just not needed. So I literally, however much university cost me, 30-something thousand, complete waste. For me, again, not for everyone. Go get an education. I do recommend it, but yeah. Right, what's the next one? Do I believe older players, 30 plus, can pick up League and climb to Diamond? Yeah. It's not an age issue. That's why you're a certain rank. It's a skill issue. It's an understanding issue. Like, a lot of League is understanding, and is a decision-making which comes from understanding. So as a 30-plus-year-old, if you can grab the basics and you can actually, like, research and you do your work into League, because a lot of people don't, they kind of just go, I'm playing League and I should be climbing. Oh, have you done any research about anything? Have you looked into it? No, I just play. You can't just play and expect results. It's like saying, you know, you jump on a football field. Have you done any practice before you jumped on the field? No. You're not going to be good. So yeah, no, age is not an issue to me. As long as, you know, your reaction time is okay, your understanding the game is good, nothing is holding you back from getting Diamond, apart from, like, natural skill. Natural skill is a thing. Otherwise, everybody from Season 1 would be Diamond by now. But I can tell you right now, the average player that is still playing from Season 1 and Season 2 are still in the average ranks. It's just, you know, it's natural skill. There are people that have picked up League and within 6 months gotten to Diamond because their natural skill is just incredible. There are people that have played since Season 1 and they're still in Bronze. It's just the way of it. Like, natural skill is a thing, but you can work on it. You can break your natural skill, I'd say, to a certain degree. If your natural skill is silver, I think you could break through and easily get gold, maybe even low platinum if you work really hard. But your natural skill was all the way down at silver. And I'd say that is harder the higher rating you go. So if your natural skill is diamond, can you break to get challenger? It's going to be really hard. Most people in challenger are probably just naturally incredibly skilled. So yeah. But yeah, definitely. Like, age is not an issue to me. Simple question, taco or spring rolls? Tacos. Apathy / indifference of the support department, please. I don't know what that means. That's not a question. Would you consider doing a champion or how to roll videos, like how to play mid lane, etc.? Honestly, like a basics of each role, what to do. Your job of that role. It's an interesting question. Yeah, if people want it, again, it could be like a 10-minute video of like, what is mid lane? Mid lane is the role that's in the middle of the map. Generally, it's the lane that has, one of the two big carries of your team. It could be roaming, it could be farming. A lot of them are team fighters, some of them are assassins, blah, blah, blah. And then go through a list of like ones that I recommend. Like, oh, Orianna is the mid laner I recommend because she's kind of like good in any situation. Maybe. If you guys want it, put it in the comment section and we can do one for all 5 roles. That's fine. But yeah, it's interesting. Someone saying, what did I do before YouTube? Did I go to university or have a job? Yeah, university. Well, before, when you say before, I did YouTube before I went to university. I did YouTube during university. And this is pretty much my first job. But again, a lot of people, again, we spoke about the hater issue earlier, that people don't think YouTube's a real job. If you think that way, I'd say you need to modernize your views because it's basically no different than being a complete showrunner for a TV show. The difference is I'm the person in the show, I'm the person editing the show, I'm the person releasing the show, I'm the person doing the graphics of the show, I'm the person marketing the show. I'm everything to do with like a TV show, basically. So yeah, really modernize your views if you don't think YouTube's a job. There's YouTubers out there that are obviously multi-millionaires now, but even without the money side, there's whole companies behind YouTube channels. Like, if you deny that YouTube is a job, it's just ridiculous to me. My tax bill speaks otherwise as well. But yeah, so things are modernizing because there have been people going, if I wanted to go get a job, like, would YouTube be on my CV? Hell yeah, it would. Like, the amount of stuff that I have to deal with on a day-to-day basis is, I'm not saying my job is more difficult than others. I'd never say that. But I'd say my job is more widespread of what I have to do than the average job. Like, say you're hired as a video editor, that's all you're doing. I'm doing video editing and recording and graphics and that and this and accounting. Like, that's the thing with YouTube, is that you have to do so much. And again, not the hardest work, but it's just you're doing everything. If you're not getting, obviously, external help. A lot of my even YouTube friends now have editors. I don't. So, yeah, it's a cool job to have, though. Like, I'll look back to YouTube very fondly. And, without getting too emotional, it'll be a sad day, when it's the last video upload that I do. And again, it probably isn't it's a while away, like a year or two. At least. But, that will be probably a bit of an emotional experience going, hey guys, this is the last video. I am off to pilot school tomorrow or something. That day probably will come. As crazy as that sounds. But yeah. Would you ever want to move out to America? Yeah, it is on my mind. I've been to America a lot. Me and my family used to go to Disney World in Florida, like at least once a year when I was growing up. Which obviously is a bit crazy. It's not a normal thing for a kid to go to Disney in Florida once a year. But I think I've been, because we stopped going in my mid-teens, but I think I've been to Disney in Florida like 16 times. There were a couple of years we went twice, and it was usually for like 2 or 3 weeks. So I grew up loving America because the memories I had, and I know America's not like that, that was like holiday dream world for a kid. But like the idea of America to me is just nice. You can't deny certain things. Like, I know there are negatives, like, in Britain we have free healthcare, in America you guys don't, but the housing situation is ridiculous. So I'll give an example. In the area that I live, it is, I'll say, a ridiculous expensive area. The Cambridge area, if you live in Britain, you'll be like, it's the second most expensive place to live in Britain. If you have, I don't know, £1 million to buy a house in the Cambridge area, you've got an okay house. Like, nothing impressive. Like, it's nice, but nothing out of this world. Like, you'd expect for like £1 million, most places in the world, you'd be like, dude, you're getting a mansion. No. You'd probably get a nice 4 to 5 bedroom house, but like not in its own ground. You'll have a neighbor, maybe even a shared driveway or something like that. It would be a lovely house and you'd be very happy with it, but it wouldn't be like an stupid mansion. I've gone on websites, websites for America, for housing. In my budget that I'm going to have for buying a house, I could get something that has double the square feet that I'm going to be getting. Like, easily double. In its own land. Like, ridiculous. And I'm like, And obviously, people are like, oh, but that depends the state. Yeah, I know. But, like, even if you're, I don't know, a few miles outside of a city. I was looking at New York City the other week. And I was looking at just rent. I wasn't looking to buy. I was looking to rent just to kind of see what the prices were. Yeah, in New York City, ridiculous. You're talking $40,000 a month for something that's not even that nice. So that's stupid. But you go like 20, 30 miles outside the city. So easily you can just drive into New York anytime you want. That's fine. Completely like $1,000 for like a nice 4-bedroom house. And I was like, what? Like a month. And I was like, it's crazy. Like that is one of the big advantages. And also, you guys have Taco Bell and Chipotle everywhere. We don't. I really like those. We actually do have a few like around. Like when I went to Fi's house a couple years ago, he has 2 Taco Bells in range. Like, what's that about? I have none. So yeah. But yeah, America is on my list potentially one day. But obviously, it's quite hard to get to America as a Brit. It's really weird. Brits and Americans are really friendly together, but it's one of the hardest countries to move there from. If you're Irish, you can get to America easily. If you're Italian, you can get to America easily. It's like Britain. Dude, we're friends with America. Why you make it so hard for us? But maybe one day. Again, the plan in the back of my head, I will say, is that obviously we've got a few family friends that are pilots. Is to become a pilot for an airline, do that for a few years, and hopefully get the offer from like Fly Emirates or something like that. Fly Emirates offers crazy deals for pilots to come over to Dubai. They usually do like a 10-year deal that you go fly for them on again, we've got a couple family friends that do this, on a crazy amount of money. I'm not going to say how much, but it's a lot of money. But then you're given a house for free. The bills are for free. You're also given a car that I think is a Volvo because they've got like a partnership for free, and it's tax free. So you stay there for 10 years. I'll just say by the time the 10 years is up, you've easily got over $1 million in your bank account with, it's not taxed because you've been in Dubai for that long. You had a free house and everything like that while you're there. But then after 10 years, okay, I'm going to go back to Britain. But then you've got like over £1 million in the bank, and you can just buy a house without no mortgage, continue being a pilot, and you're happy as Larry. Like, that is something that I'm definitely thinking about. So, yeah. Next question is, what do I think is the best support? Not an answer, not a question I can answer. Not something I can answer. There is not a best of any role. It's that simple. There is a best for certain situations, and those also situations could have layers. What is the best hook support? Well, it could be Thresh, it could be Pike, it could be Blitzcrank. It depends. What AD carry you have, what the enemy team comp is. There is simply not a best of any champion role in the game. It doesn't exist. But Thresh is cool. That's what I'd say. Rise for climbing? No. I would not play Rise for climbing. Terrible solo queue champion that you need a good communication with your team. He's a late game scaling champion as well, so you need to trust that your team aren't feeding in the early game. Not a champion that I'd recommend to climb with. What software do I use to edit? Adobe Premiere Pro. Would I consider Doublelift as a contender for one of the best AD carries ever or best players in general? Oh, easily, yeah. You can't, like, I know we spoke about earlier about arrogance and how some people don't like Doublelift because of arrogance, but you can't deny him. That's the problem. You just can't. He is godly mechanically. Like, I had a conversation on Twitter the other day that when he was playing in the best of 5, you could tell that this guy just didn't like Doublelift, but everything that he was saying was just wrong. It was like, but no, that's not true. Like, he's a godlike player. Mechanically, if you actually watch him and zone in on him, he's probably mechanically a little bit better than most players in NALCS, at least. You can just tell. Like, if you know what you're looking for, you're like, ooh. Again, his decision-making sometimes can make him slip, but his mechanics are insane. Like, crazy. But, yeah, definitely one of the best AD carries ever. As for players, he'd probably be in the top, I don't know, 25 maybe. But he'd be like, 23rd out of 25th best player. Like, obviously a lot of the Koreans from old are amazing, or used to be. Next question. Do I think League should be played for individual player, weird builds and screwing around, or for team pleasure, well-rounded team comps and playing relatively serious? 100% team pleasure. It's a team game. If you want to do wacky builds and screw around, don't do it on other people's clocks. Don't do it on their ratings. Like, that is just disrespectful. So yeah, their clocks is their time. So you're wasting their time if you're doing something stupid and it doesn't work out. Or their rating. I think it's just incredibly disrespectful if you're doing that. So, and yeah, 100% for the team. Should you try new champions in flex/casual before ranked? If you're smart, yeah. Again, you'll see it like YouTubers, even me, not do it because we're just kind of confident over like playing League for 10 odd years. You know, I'll again. Some people get the wrong end of the stick, but I've tested the new champions before they've come out. Whether that be on the PBE or something else, I've tested them, so I'm confident to just jump in straight into ranked. If you don't have testing access, which probably none of you do, or PBE access, you guys haven't. So yeah, jump in a normal game or a flex queue before you go into solo queue. Any tips on computer science programming at university? Well, obviously, I don't know if you're going into that or you're already doing it, but my big advice would be learn some code before you start your degree. So my degree consisted of C++, C#, and Java. I knew a little bit of like HTML and Visual Basic. So I knew coding basics, but not in the languages I was going to be doing. It would have been so good. Like, I'm not even kidding. If you got a basic textbook, like, again, look at your own degree and what code you're doing. But if I got a basic textbook for C# and in my gap year, I started to learn C# or C++, whatever, I would have been so far ahead of, like, again, I still did well. I still got the highest grade, but it would have made things less stressful. I wouldn't have had to learn the basics in year one. I would have already known them. And again, it would have made it boring because that's what we were learning. But yeah, you would have breezed through it, like easily breezed. So yeah, my advice, if you're doing a computer science degree that is going to be a programming and languages, find out what languages they are and learn some of the basics before you go. It doesn't hurt at all. What is my favorite champion to watch? Like if I'm just a viewer and I'm enjoying watching a champion, probably Lee Sin, like a really good Lee Sin. Yeah. What's my earliest gaming memories? Pokemon. On the Game Boy Color. Oh no, was it Game Boy Classic? Maybe. I don't know. No, Game Boy Color, I think. And oddly, I know this is very specific, but playing in a hospital. I was playing outside the door of somebody in hospital, and I honestly do not even remember who was in the hospital. I think it was some family member that I didn't really know, like a great uncle or something. I'm not really sure. I actually could ask my parents later on. But yeah, I remember playing Pokemon Blue. So this would have been in like 97, 98 roughly. So that's when my memories started to kick in. Again, roughly. When did Pokemon Blue come out? Let's see. Pokemon Blue release date. It came out in 96. So yeah, that works out. So yeah, probably about 97, roughly. I would have been about 3 or 4 years old. Yeah, weirdly, that is pretty much my first ever gaming memory. Again, a lot of my early gaming memories were Pokemon. You know, friends knocking on my door in the house that I grew up with. We had, I think, from memory, like a little porch. So you could step out, like you could step under it so you don't get hit by the rain when you're knocking on someone's door. Friends literally knocking on the door going, oh, can I quickly trade like a Machoke with you to get a Machamp? And it was like, do you want to come in? People, they never came in. It was literally, we just literally stood on the porch with our trading cable that you used to have back then, and literally just trading like a Graveler and a Machoke and stuff, trading them to get the opposites, trading them back to get our originals. And then he just reached to, you know, run back to his house that we lived in a cul-de-sac and everything. It was great. But yeah, it was weird. Like, I guess, like, what would be the equivalent? Pokemon Go now? But kids, when I used to grow up in the 90s, kids were, like, on street greens and, like, just corners and stuff playing Game Boy. They were out of their houses but playing Game Boy. So it was like that mixture of like, I grew up in the 90s, which was a weird time. It was the time that technology started to really advance. So like, I grew up when you first started to get computers in your homes and the internet started to kind of become more mainstream in your homes, even though it was dial-up, so that was really bad. And again, TV started to change. Like, it wasn't just 4 channels, it was like 1,000 with Sky. It was a really cool time, the 90s, because like now if a kid grows up, they've just got all this technology instantly and they probably don't go out anymore. I used to go out all the time. But then it turned from going out all the time with my bike or growing out all the time running around playing whatever to then going out with my Game Boy. You know, it changed. It did. So yeah, like 90s was a cool time though. Next one is Do I enjoy Smash Bros? Have I played Joker yet? Again, I don't really know who Joker is. I know people are blasphemy, but yeah, I don't really know. Again, I was like, the Joker from DC? Apparently not, it's from something else. I do play a bit of Smash, haven't played it in a couple of weeks though. But yeah, Smash is fun. I'm not amazing at it by any means. I think that's the type of game you need to put a lot of practice in order to get good. I haven't. I'm probably, my best Switch game of like that type of thing is probably Mario Kart. Back in the old Wii days, I did get to 4 nines. 9999 rating on the Nintendo Wii was the highest ranked rating you can get. Yes, I am that type of person. So I could probably do that on the Switch, but that takes a long time and I literally cannot be bothered. Next one is thoughts on Australia. Have I been here before or ever considered coming back or permanently living here? Probably not permanently living in Australia because it's quite out the way of things. But I'd like to go one day, for sure. I definitely want to go to more like the Asia parts of the world, and obviously Australia is nearer that end. So like definitely I'll make my way there one day. I'll be honest, I do also want to go to New Zealand because of the Lord of the Rings stuff. I want to go to like where they have the Hobbit and stuff and the studio tour that I think you can do. So I'll definitely be going to New Zealand sometime. But as for Australia, yeah, I'll probably go eventually. I've heard, again, we've got family friends, like a lot of family friends, us as a family have. We know people in Australia, and they literally just say it's a hotter Britain, pretty much. There are some other differences, but it's apparently quite similar. And again, it should be similar. Again, without being too sensitive, a lot of the people from Australia, if you trace your heritage, you're all British anyway. Some of your ancestors may have got sent to Australia for certain reasons. So it's very similar. The British people and Australian people get along amazing, which is awesome. And I love my Australian fans and New Zealanders and that. So yeah, I'll definitely get out there sometime. I don't know when, but yeah. If I could travel anywhere, where would I go? Right now, I definitely go to Japan. I could go right now, but there's like so many factors of who do I go with? Do I go alone? And I'm becoming more like the idea of just going on a holiday by myself in a way in the next like year or so is becoming more an option to me. Because like I've read things and I've watched videos about traveling alone, is that you actually sometimes have a nicer time in a certain way. You'll have a worse time in others socially because you're by yourself, but in others you can appreciate the things around you a lot more. You can take in the culture a lot more when you're alone. So like I have thought about that. But yeah, maybe. But it definitely would be challenging. It would probably go for like, let's say 2 weeks, go to Tokyo for a week, go to Kyoto for a week or something like that. What watch do I wear? And what is my favorite mechanical watch? So right now I'm just wearing the Apple Watch, but I do own a few watches. I own a Amiga Double Eagle Constellation. These are quite expensive watches. I bought that one to celebrate becoming a YouTuber as my full-time job. So throughout history, I guess we can show them. Again, this is not to show off. Literally got a question, so don't moan at me. Alright, that's that one. Okay. So, again, I've always found if you grew up in a watch family, you probably like watches. If you didn't, you probably won't care about them. I grew up in a watch family. That's kind of tradition for my family, every male in the family, to get an Amiga. So Amiga is a very high-end watch company, you would say. Like, a lot of people have heard of Rolex. You may not have heard of Amiga, but like Amiga is easily the same level, easily. But there's that one. That's the Amiga Double Eagle Constellation. And again, that was to celebrate becoming a YouTuber as my full-time job. So that means a lot to me, and it's like my very smart watch that I don't wear this much. This is the watch that I would wear to special occasions, because this is my most expensive one. Then the other one, that is, I'd say, like, I've always said, this is my family style. This is my family. My dad's got a similar watch. My granddad's got a similar watch, etc. This is my style. So this is a Tag. And I got this one to celebrate my 2-year anniversary of being a YouTuber. It just jumped out. Both YouTube related. And again, these are my 2 watches. I don't need any more than 2 because this one is a bit more durable. Again, the other one was steel link. This one is rubber link. But that is the Tag Heuer Aqua Racer. And it's I think 44mm with a black rubber strap. The other one, that I think is only a 38mm because that's all they did. But yeah, so again, not a showing off thing, but it's just a question, and now people know. So we basically never have to answer that question again. But I like watches. Again, to me, they're good for signifying things. A good example of that is Russell Crowe. Sadly, obviously had his divorce, I don't know, a year or something ago, and he sold off his watch collection. His watch collection was insane. And a lot of people kind of go, why did Russell Crowe have 100 watches? If you actually watch a video with him explaining the watches, every single watch was a film. So he was like, this watch I got with Gladiator, and he used to get them engraved on the back underneath. Gladiator 2000, for example, Master and Commander 2001. I think that's a great idea, and I might engrave those eventually, by the way. Like, I'm not going to ever sell them. They're going to stay with me forever. So, yeah. So, that's what watches are good to me. That every time you look at your obviously not an Apple Watch or something like that, but like proper watches, it's a good signifying thing. It's a good celebration thing. It's something that you can wear, and if it's just for you to kind of go, hey, I'm a YouTuber. Like, just looking at the watch type thing. To me, it means a lot. So, yeah. Right. A couple more. What do I think of the first episode of Season 8 Game of Thrones? No spoilers, but I'm pretty hyped, man. It's looking good to me. I was expecting, let's say, that type of episode for episode 1. Some people were expecting craziness. I wasn't. We've got the craziness to come. Literally, I'm recording this on the Saturday. I don't know when this video is coming out. This video might be coming out on the Sunday night that Game of Thrones is coming out. If so, hell yeah. Next one is, am I going to play any more racing games on the second channel? I am planning to very soon, yeah. I'm going to get back into Gran Turismo a bit. I got up to BS rank. You heard me right. I was very close to getting AS as well, so I'm going to get back into it a bit. So that should be fun. What is my favorite thing to do with friends? Ooh, honestly, talk to them, as weird as that sounds. And it could be about anything, but like, I love when me and my friends talk about movies or Game of Thrones, or, there's me and my real life friends, my university friends, have a tradition that we always go see any Marvel film basically together. We a lot of the time, because we're busy and we've all got other friend groups as well, we'll all go see it twice. So we'll see it with other people, and then we'll all see it together. Occasionally it's not. Occasionally, like, when we went to see Captain Marvel, 2 of us had already seen it, 2 of them didn't. There's 4 of us. So me and my friend already saw it, the other 2 didn't. So it was kind of like that kind of dynamic. Infinity War is coming out next Friday or Thursday. I'm seeing it on the Friday, but some of my friends are busy, like doing other things or with other people, so we're all gonna go see it like separately, and then the next weekend we'll go see it together, so we'll watch it twice. And again, we go get lunch, talk about it, have some fun in that way, play a bit of Pokemon Go while we're around town. It's a good time. And again, generally the place that I go to the cinema, which is really funny, is that apparently I don't know if they're still a viewer, but yeah, someone that works in the cinema is a viewer of mine, and literally tweets, or has tweeted, hey, you were at the certain cinema today. I was like, yep. Never says hi, by the way. Never says hi. But yeah, that's going to be it. That was quite long. A 43-minute Q&A. Wasn't expecting that. But yeah, if you guys did enjoy, what you can do is smash the like button. If you've got any more questions, if you made it this far, congratulations. And what we can say is, I'm in a happy mood. In the comment section, say something happy. Are you in a happy mood? Is there something happy in your life going on? Is there something you want to go on that will make you happy? Go in the comment section, something to do with that, and I'll know you made it to the end. And also feel free to ask any more questions. I'll be down in the comment section answering them. And maybe, again, if I'm releasing this tomorrow, Sunday night, I'll release this at midnight. Game of Thrones is at 2 in the morning, so you've got a 2-hour window of putting comments in that I may answer before Game of Thrones comes on. So there you go. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time. Adios, amigos.